Okay, so we got a gas tank over here. It's pretty holy, and I need to make a patch for this. So I'm gonna show you guys how to make the perfect patch for a gas tank, especially when you got some bends going on, just like that. It's not flat. So what I like to do, I get a little bit of tape, and I run it along the metal. Rule of thumb, whenever you're working with something that's metal, if I can make it out of a piece of paper or a piece of tape, I can turn it into a piece of metal. I can match all my bends. So, lay that all on. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna lay on another piece. So all I'm doing, and all this is gonna be is a template. So, I got this right here. All my tape's applied to the area that I'm gonna be working on. And then, I'm gonna get a Sharpie. I'm gonna come down. Right over there. And right over here. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a razor blade, and I'm gonna trace off this piece of nut. I'm gonna trace off this piece of tape, and then I'm gonna apply it to a piece of metal. And what I'm doing with this, this is giving me all my measurements. Because whenever you're working with a piece of metal that's not flat, you got to make up for these curves. So it's really hard to measure that. So that's what I'm doing with this. So I just cut this out. Just like that. Then what I'm gonna do, get that off right there because that metal was good. And then what I have, is a perfect outline of the piece of metal that I'm gonna have to cut out. So what I'll do, there we go. I would transfer this right onto my piece of metal, just like that. Trace this out, cut that out, and then what I would do, I'll mark this off with a marker. Cut that out, and then shape my metal a little bit, work it, dolly it all out, and I'm gonna have a perfect template for this, And then I'm gonna weld all that up, and it's always a good idea whenever you're working on a gas tank especially, is get yourself like a gas tank sealer when you're all done welding. And I know what some people are gonna say, you know, if you're a good welder, you don't have to worry about your welds leaking. That's your ego talking, because things happen, stuff leaks, and that's just the way it is. But when you're working on something like this, that is pretty rusted out and everything like that, odds are there might be other areas in this tank where it's ready to go, but it hasn't gone yet. So what you do with the gas tank sealer, what it's doing is giving those areas that aren't leaking yet life. So you're just helping the guy, the customer, a little bit later on down the road from those areas leaking again. So if you guys like this tip, check out the YouTube channel, Armin Metalwork.